You know, people have asked me, how do I feel about President Donald Trump being a convicted felon? And I told them that political persecution has been going on from the beginning of time. People often will use the court systems to take out their political opponents, and this is not new. This is something that is it actually is very prevalent, and it's still prevalent to this day across the world. I said, okay, let's just go back in the United States. Let's look at U.S. history with Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was arrested 29 times, and I think most people will know, with the political climate of that time being very volatile as it is today, he was arrested 29 times. And most of the time, I would say probably of those 29 times, knowing his character, he shouldn't have been arrested any of those times. And then let's look at Malcolm X. Some black people at that time, and I was one of them, were very supportive of Malcolm X. He spent, 6.5 years in jail. And many of the crimes that he was convicted of, or the reason that he was in jail, were for crimes because of his political views and his views on the establishment at that time. And then let's just keep going. We can go and look at Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi spent, I think they said 2,338 days in jail. And he did that. It was strictly political because he rejected colonialism. He rejected the political persecution of his people by a very tyrannical Great Britain, or a country that had colonized his country. And then let's keep going. Let's look at Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in jail. 27 years. And it's because he was opposed to the apartheid regime that ran his country and the way they treated the native Africans at that time in his country. And so then he got out and he became the president of South Africa. What a great story. And then let's keep going. We can go even further back and we can look at Jesus Christ was persecuted. It was a political persecution. And let me just say this. People say this, you can't compare Donald Trump to Jesus Christ. Oh, yes, I can. Because why was he persecuted? Because the governor at the time was so worried that Jesus was getting more attention than he was getting. He was so worried that Jesus would become the person that all of the people followed at that time. And so let's move forward with Donald Trump. Okay, why was Donald Trump persecuted? Donald Trump was persecuted for very similar reasons to all of the other people that I just mentioned. He was persecuted. Why? Because he was not a part of their political establishment. He was not one of the boys per se. He was on the other side. As a matter of fact, he was a business person. He was not a part of that Washington establishment where the globalists told him what to do. And he says, yes, I will do whatever you say. He had his own theories about what he could and should do to protect his country. Therefore, the globalists came after him. They came after him with a vengeance. They've tried everything using the judicial system, using our entire Department of Justice, and then lo and behold. And so today what they made, the determination was, we're not going to send him to jail, but we are going to make it where he can forever be called a felon. And I always say to everyone, all of these people that I just named were considered felons at one time in the political establishment that was opposed to them in their own countries. So anyway, that's my take on Donald Trump.